Sometimes the divine doesn't place people into our lives to love us in the way we expect. Sometimes they arrive to love us in ways we never saw coming. Healing doesn't always show up dressed in familiarity. Often, it arrives through contrast, through difference, through youth, laughter, and light. It comes in forms that don't match our plans, yet somehow reach places nothing else could. There are moments when the soul that wakes you up is the one you never imagined fitting into your life, and sometimes destiny is rewritten without asking permission from age or time, because what the world measures in years, the divine measures in souls. You may find yourself aligning with someone younger, and the reason may touch you so deeply that you go quiet for a moment just to feel it settle inside your heart. You didn't ask for this, you didn't plan for it, you may even doubt it when it begins. But divine timing rarely explains itself at the start. It doesn't study calendars or numbers, it doesn't pause at wrinkles or timelines. It looks deeper, at essence, at readiness, at purpose. When a younger soul enters your life, it isn't meant to make you question yourself. It comes to remind you of who you are beneath responsibility, beneath time, beneath expectation. Because somewhere along your journey, something inside you became quiet. The laughter softened, the movement slowed. The dreamer inside you folded their wings and chose survival over wonder. You became dependable. You became strong. You carried others. You held space. You endured silently. You grew wiser, yet without noticing, your spirit aged faster than your body. And then something greater whispered, "Bring their spark back, restore their fire, awaken their aliveness." So a younger soul arrives, not to replace your wisdom, but to reignite your spirit. They enter like morning light, unexpected, warm, gentle, reaching into corners that had grown cold. They laugh freely, they love openly, they dream without fear, and something inside you stirs. Not your age, your presence, not your body, your spirit. You remember what anticipation feels like. You remember looking forward to connection instead of obligation. You remember energy instead of exhaustion, joy instead of duty, living instead of simply existing. This isn't just attraction, it's awakening. A heart that once closed quietly begins to open again, without force. A younger soul doesn't make you older, they make you present. They bring you back to now. They remind you that life isn't measured by how long you've lived, but by how deeply you feel while living. They disrupt routines that slowly became cages. They soften seriousness you thought you needed. They remind you that passion doesn't expire. Dreams don't belong only to beginners. Love doesn't belong only to first chapters. They arrive so you can remember yourself, the version of you who once laughed loudly, hoped boldly, believed deeply, and maybe you didn't realize how tired your soul had become, but something greater did, and sent warmth where cold had settled. Now understand this, connections like this are not random. They appear after growth. You've walked through loss. You've known disappointment. You've learned patience. You've matured not just in years, but in spirit. You no longer chase love. You no longer seek validation. You understand peace. And because of that, you are trusted. So someone younger arrives, not lacking, but still unfolding. And without effort, you become a guiding light, not through control, but through presence. In return, they give you something priceless: freshness, warmth, energy untouched by time. It becomes a sacred exchange. You bring depth, they bring light, you offer calm, they offer fire. Together, balance forms. You teach them how to slow down and feel grounded. They teach you how to open up and feel alive. You soften their impulsiveness. They soften your seriousness. Two souls, equal in value, different in gifts. That is divine balance. Sometimes people are sent not as partners first, but as healers. They don't come to fill emptiness. They come to awaken places you forgot existed. Two lives cross, two timelines pause, and something familiar recognizes itself. It may feel sudden, but nothing about it is accidental. Maybe you asked for peace and received joy. Maybe you asked for closure and received understanding. Maybe you asked to forget the past and received someone who gently reshaped the future. They listen to your stories, even the ones you thought no longer mattered. They don't fix your pain, they witness it. Their presence becomes comfort, yours becomes stability. They remind you love can be gentle. You show them love can be wise. Through their eyes, you no longer look tired or late. You look chosen. Perhaps you didn't need someone new. Perhaps you needed a reflection, a reminder of who you are beneath the years. Sometimes the younger soul isn't a replacement chapter. They are a renewal chapter. Proof your story is still unfolding. Love doesn't count numbers. It recognizes resonance. Age belongs to the body. Connection belongs to the soul. Silence feels safe. Presence feels familiar. Others may count years, but something greater sees alignment. Love isn't always equal in age, but it is always equal in worth. This connection teaches unconditional love, not possession, but presence, not fear, but freedom. Differences become bridges, not walls. You stop worrying about judgment because love aligned with purpose doesn't need approval. Love breathes again. You trust, you soften, you grow together. And maybe this love feels different. It doesn't drain you. It doesn't confuse you. It doesn't question your worth. It feels like coming home to something you didn't know you missed. Light, peaceful, real. And maybe love was never lost. Maybe it was waiting for the right moment and the right openness. If this speaks to you, perhaps it was meant for you, not to remind you of time past, but of life still alive within you, not to erase your past, but to rewrite your future, a future where you are seen, valued, chosen. Maybe this time, love doesn't break you, it rebuilds you, and maybe that was always the plan.